I think we all have our own definition of success. You and I got into a conversation about what creating enduring success means when we were sitting at the dinner table the night before TEDx Walden Pond. We hit it off like this, and I could have talked to you for 2 hours, could have talked with you for 2 hours. So we started getting into this. I'd like to pull some of that out for this interview. When you think about creating enduring success, what does that mean to you?
So, there's a lot of talk about, following your passion and following your purpose. And I do think that that's a key component of it. And, when following, like, I remember a moment in comedy, you get, the thing about stand-up comedy is you get immediate feedback. People either like the joke and they'll laugh, or they'll kind of like it and you need to tweak something, or there's crickets. It's just dead silence. And that helped me become such a better writer, because you knew immediately how people respond to the words you've put together. And I remember a time when I realized, what, this job is really for me. For me, it's not about getting laughs. It's really about getting up there and saying what I am supposed to say. And that's connected to my faith. I feel like I believe in God, and I think God called me to do this work. And I feel like he wants me to talk about how I've been broken, and how all of us have been broken, and we all dealt with shame, and how I've dealt with regret and shame and mistakes I've made as a parent and those kind of things. And I feel like as a comedian, of course, you have an obligation to make people laugh. And it makes it a lot easier to talk about shame and struggle and in that moment of despair, which I've had many of, and actually just recently. But I think that's what makes it work long term, is when you can say, all right, this is my purpose. And the usual measures and metrics of success that typically apply may be different based on my purpose. And I think that changes how you approach each performance. And I do that now, even in the past few years, I've become a lot more open to, I'll write material, I'll prepare, but I'll be a lot more open to just getting up there and improvising and saying what comes to me in the moment, or based on something, like if I'm at a conference, something that's somebody talked about a struggle they were dealing with in their industry, and sharing a bit about that. And also being open to have a corporate comedy set, where there is some quiet moments, and there are some moments of reflection, and there's some moments of talking about struggle and pain and regret and coming out of that. So I think getting in line with what you're really supposed to do in life.
And you've embraced it. You figured it out, and then you embraced it. And I do kind of think that's a two-step choice. What is my purpose, and am I going to embrace it in all of my actions and let it manifest in my life?
Oh, right. Yes, definitely. And that second piece is much more difficult. It's much more difficult. And part of me, let's see, I don't know if this is connected to comedy so much, but a big part of my growth that's even happened just in the last couple of months is being at peace when things don't go my way, or when we have an improv principle.
No, tell me, because I won't remember anything. Yeah.
Okay. So it's there is order in chaos, this belief that there's order in chaos. And that's when you're doing a long form. And we talked a little bit about the Herald format, when you're doing a long form improv show, that's much more theatrical. It's not like short form improv is what you've seen on Whose Line Is It Anyway? It's quick and gamey, but long form is more theatrical. You're building a set of 9 different scenes in 3 acts, all based on one suggestion from the audience. And one of the principles you need to follow to make this work for you to be at peace getting up on stage is that there's order and chaos. And so you'll get up there in the first 2 scenes, you're like, you have no idea how this is going to come together, and it makes no sense. But as an improviser, you're at peace with it. You're like, okay, we're going to figure this out. I mean, it's going to come to us. We'll discover it. You're not inventing, you're discovering. And you're surrendering. It's like, okay, let's just get up there and let's listen and serve and support each other, and we'll see what
That's
comes
awesome.
to us. And there are a lot of parallels to that with my faith. It's funny how close my faith is to improv. It's a lot about surrender. It's a lot about supporting your partner, which I see as loving your neighbor, who is everyone. And yeah, okay.
Doesn't matter.
What I was talking
I
about.
got
We're
it.
talking about something.
I got it. Thank you for joining me for this episode of the Choose and Become interview series. To check out more episodes, go to www.trishkendall.com/podcast, or go to any of your favorite podcast channels, including YouTube, under Trish Kendall Speaks, and you'll find this interview and more. Choose and become.